You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to say yes to every single opportunity that's presented to you that falls in your lap, because if it's actually really meant for you, you will end up doing it. As we get more opportunities and as we get more presented to us, we need to just go back and check in with ourselves and be like, but what is the main thing? Like, why am I doing all of this? What is the main purpose? Today, I want to share with you some really, really important time management techniques, but it's a little bit different than you think. So today's podcast episode is all about 5 productive habits that were secretly destroying my productivity and destroying my high performance. So this is a little bit different twist than what you're used to hearing from me. And this is coming from such a personal space of really having to look at what my calendar says, what it's filled with, and the technology, the events, the things in my life that were actually taking up a lot of space that I needed to put parameters around, that I needed to put blockers around to really ensure that I was showing up in a way that was aligned with what the big mission was, what the main thing was for myself and my family and my business. And I'm sharing this with you today because I think that it's really important that as we talk about time management and productivity, we put so much effort into really optimizing our time. But I think that there's some things that I'm going to share with you today that make us go overboard. So, what are these 5 things? Let's dive in. My first habit was obsessively tracking my sleep and my steps. Now, you guys know I wear my Oura ring, but I feel like it got to a point where I was being overly obsessive with it. Like, I know when I'm tired. I know when I need extra sleep, but I would wear this thing and I kept trying to like make it perfect and get a 100 score of 100 and like really just take it to the extreme. And for someone that is a high achiever, for someone that wants to excel in everything that I do, I was really just taking it to that extreme. And it was probably even in an unhealthy way, like even to the point of like when I was tracking my steps, I had to have it on. I couldn't like just go for a walk without the Oura ring on because I was afraid I was going to miss a step or like miss, out on something. So number one is like what was really hurting and destroying my productivity and really just my life in general was just being overly obsessive about tracking these things that I knew if I just listened to my body, I would know if I needed more steps. I would know if I needed to get more sleep or get in bed early, or even in the beginning when I just started wearing my Oura ring and I would track if I would have a cocktail, how it would throw my body off. I didn't need a ring to tell me that. I felt it. Like I knew that was contributing to not having my best sleep. So at the end of the day, I would say if you are someone who's just starting off with an Oura ring, maybe like I was in the beginning, and you're just getting used to the flow of it, that's great. But don't let it overtake your life or you're obsessing about your steps and tracking and your sleep and all the things, because we know. The second habit that was secretly destroying my high performance, this is a big one. Are you ready? It's putting down my phone without being truly present. Okay. So, like, I would tell myself, like, don't be on the phone past 4 o'clock. Don't be on the phone on Sundays. But my mind was elsewhere. I was still thinking about work, or I was still not being present in the thing that I was doing. And when we think about like our to-do list and we think about what we have to do next, we are robbing ourselves of being in the moment. So, I was on my phone. I think we were just like at dinner and I picked up my phone to like make an Instacart order or do something on my phone. And Jared was like, you're like, you can't get off of it. Like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh my God, like it's gotten to the point where I need to just put this thing down and be okay with walking away and maybe like missing a text or missing a message and being able to get back to it. So for me, I really had to like step back from having it on me all the time and knowing it's okay, especially on the weekends, especially after 4 o'clock. My team knows after that time, I'm not going to be around. They know that like that is safe for me and it's like a safeguard. So now it just gives me that time to really safeguard and engage and be present with my family, with my boys. I even tell them, like, if you see me on my phone, tell me to put it down. Like, I'm not allowed to be on the phone, like, after a certain point. And they're so respectful of that time when I am working. I want to give that back to them. And I was really, really good at this for a long time. And I think it got to a certain point where there was just so much going on. And truthfully, this is why I'm doing this episode, because even for me, this is a little bit of like a self check of like, get back to the main thing. And I even told my husband this. I was like, we're going to get into this in a minute, but like, I need to really protect my yeses by saying no. So when I say yes to something, it's a full yes. I'm fully present. I'm fully there. And when it's a no, it's because I'm safeguarding and I'm protecting whatever that other thing is, the family time, the self-care time, the hubby time, like the work time, whatever it is, the client time, it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying yes to is a full yes, not a half in, half yes, because I'm half doing both. So just being able to put the phone down and being truly present and not distracted. Like, I feel like it's always a work in progress, because I think that I personally could always be better at that. Because again, like when I'm with the kids, if I'm thinking about work, or when I'm in work and I'm thinking about the kids, I think that there's no full way to shut that off. I think that we can manage it better and we can look at how we can be more present in those moments. And that's what I feel like I've been really working on, being present, not worrying about what's coming in or what needs to be done. Like, I have a team for that. I have people around me that, support me with those things. So just being really present and being in the moment is something that I'm really, really loving. And I know it sounds so weird to say, because it's like, it's so simple, but at the end of the day, it's something that I think I did take for granted, and something that I wasn't doing. But now that I'm not doing it, or I wasn't doing it, now getting back to it, I appreciate it so much more. And honestly, just like slowing down. Like, not everything has to be so Instacart instantaneous. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be so rapid response to everything. And I think that's also a really good point to my number 3, which is overloading your to-do list. Like, if you're overloading that to-do list, like, one of the biggest things that I love sharing with my ladies in my academy is like, don't focus on a mile-long to-do list. Focus on 3 to 5 high impact, needle moving activities that are going to move the ball forward each day. And I think for me that, like, because I was saying yes to so many things, more events, more appearances, more media, more da 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 da, like all these things, I was getting so far away from the 3 to 5 things, when now I'm reeling it back in. And it's like, okay, yes, that is more like, it's more doable. And it's just more realistic, like for the point in my life that I'm at, when my kids are the most important thing in my life, and my husband, and like really being in the thing that I'm in. When I'm with a client, like, I want to be with her, right? When I'm at an event, I want to be there. So I think that it's really important that we don't overload ourselves with so many things that we're like, wait a second, what even is important anymore? Like, y'all feel me on that? Like, if you're resonating with this, let me know in the comments below if you're feeling that. If you're like, yes, like, we don't have to say yes to everything, and we get to pick the things that we get to show up for. And it doesn't have to feel so overwhelming, like we get to be present. I think that that's something that I'm really, really, really leaning into heavy right now. And I think that you do get to a point where you have these amazing opportunities in front of you, but you don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to say yes to every single opportunity that's presented to you that falls in your lap, because if it's not for you, like, or I should say, if it's meant for you, if it's actually really meant for you, you will end up doing it. Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not even a year from now, but it will be there. So I think that just like really honing in and focusing on the important things in my life and identifying what they are, not just identifying what they are, but how I want to show up there has been a game changer for me. Like, how do I want to show up as a wife? How do I want to show up as a mom? What do those date nights look like? What do the dates look like with my kids? What are we doing together? What are we talking about? How are we spending time together? That for me sound like it not only sounds amazing, but it fills my cup so much that I'm like, yes, like that is a full 100% yes. Versus some things in the past where I was like, yes, I'll do it, to add it to the plate, to add it to the calendar. When I was like, but that was just like one more thing to do. It was like one more thing to be like on a stage or to do a media appearance or to do like, but like, what was the purpose? What was the actual impact on the other side that it was having? So that was the real raw conversation I started having with myself, which made me really evaluate and look at these things that I was saying yes to and showing up to and committing to, and being like, wait a second, I can say no to these things and still feel fully in who I am and who my yeses are and what my priorities are. So I hope that also helps you. Again, comment below and let me know if this also helps you in the way that you structure your days, your time, your business, your family, because by realizing these things, by looking at these habits, it actually allows me to do more of the things that I really, really want to show up for, that I want to be fully present for, that I really want to fully be in. And I especially know with motherhood, like it just goes by so fast. And I want to be there with my boys and I want to not be on my phone and I don't want to be checked out. So it's just like these little things that I think as we get more opportunities and as we get more presented to us, we need to just go back and check in with ourselves and be like, but what is the main thing? Like, why am I doing all of this? What is the main purpose? And I think for me, it just all goes back to really being the kind of woman that I want to be in every area as a wife and a mother and a business owner, and honoring those seasons and stages and commitments. So I can look back and be like, you know what? I made the right choice. So I hope that you're resonating with this and that like it also in a way, not that you need it, but it like gives you permission to be like, you know what? No, I don't need to go do that or not right now, because I feel like that's where these productive habits that were secretly like destroying my high performance, they were kind of like low performance in disguise as high performance. Like, how crazy is that? So that's what I want to share with you, because I think once we can identify them, then we can start to block them out, block them off, and really focus on what's going to bring us more joy, more intention, more profits, more just more of the intentionality instead of the more, right? Like going deeper versus adding more to the plate. All right, let's get into habit number 4. Okay, so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Slay Your Day podcast. This is the place for all things high performance, time management, productivity, work-life wellness. So I hope that you'll join me every single week by subscribing to the show. And by the way, if you have a woman in your life, maybe it's your girlfriend, a coworker, your sister, your cousin, your aunt, your mom, a friend that you know would enjoy getting value out of this podcast and also having community along with it, please share this episode with her, because I think we all need just somebody else that we can relate to and be like, you know what? I heard her say it. So it's something that like I can get behind as well. Sometimes I know for at least myself, I think these things and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going crazy? Like, I know I want to be high performance and productivity, but like these things are actually hurting me more than they're helping me. And when I talk to other girlfriends about it and they're like, oh my gosh, Sandi, me too. I resonate with this. I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. Like we're all in this together. And, when you share this with another woman, you are also giving her that gift. So sharing is caring. Please share this with another woman that you know is really looking to prioritize her family, her business, herself, her relationships, because this is what the Slay Your Day podcast is all about. Okay, the fourth habit that was secretly sabotaging my productivity, my high performance, was over ordering and overbuying and over purchasing things I don't need. I have talked about this, I think, since the end of last year, and just like the overspending on unnecessary things. Most of the time, these things I like already had, or I like had but didn't know I had because I didn't take inventory. So things like notebooks, planners, makeup, hair products, like all that kind of stuff for me, at least gadgets, like would pile up. And I didn't even realize I had all these things and I would just still go buy new ones. So looking at what you have and using what you have and just getting rid of the clutter is such a great way to get back to what you really want to focus on. So for me, it was like just overbuying and overspending on things. It could have been kitchen gadgets. It could be like something I needed products for my office, but like overspending and overbuying on things that like number one, I didn't need in the first place. Number two, I think I already had it. And number three was just like making these unnecessary decisions and also clothes. That's another big one was like buying clothes that I had a perfectly good outfit for in the first place that I could have used that I probably only wore one time. And that's another like bullet that I'm going to add to this that wasn't in this fourth productive habit, but goes along with it and piggybacks off it is like, I am no longer subscribing to wearing something one time and being done with it. It is such a waste. It is like unsubscribe, check box, unsubscribed from, because I had this conversation with a girlfriend of mine and she's like, Sandi, like we can wear stuff more than one time. Like that is okay. I know my husband is so on board with this, but I think that when you get into the mindset of like speaking on stages and being on like media and podcasts and TV and all the things, like it's hard to kind of like repeat outfits. So my solution for this is number one, it's okay to repeat, but also number two, I've been gifting or donating clothes, tops, clothing to friends that I know will also get good use out of it. Doing swaps with friends for clothing is amazing. So just like these, number one, decluttering. Number two, unnecessary purchases for things that I just don't need. That is my commitment to blocking that out because that was also secretly destroying my productivity and my high performance. So I'm unsubscribing to that. I hope you do too. And then just we'll make a deal with each other. Can we make a deal with each other? Okay. Let's make a deal with each other that we are going to mentally free up that space for what actually matters and not put so much time and attention on like putting clothes together that we know we're only going to wear one time, and also like using the things that we have, using the gadgets and the clothes and the planners and the all the things that we already have, the hair care, the skincare, the makeup, like using those things. It's okay to go buy them when you're done, but not just like buying things or ordering just to buy and over order and have an excess of. Deal? Okay, deal. Okay, and number 5, and I've been preaching about this entire episode, is saying yes to every opportunity. I'm telling you from a place of experience that I used to believe that saying yes to whatever came in front of me, an event, a collaboration, a business opportunity, an idea, would help me grow. And I think it's natural, especially in the beginning, that you're like, yes, 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 let me say yes to everything because it's going to help me grow. But the truth is, most of those things end up draining you and costing you so much time and attention, and the ROI, the return on investment of your time and your energy, and just like the level of commitment that you need to have for these things, events alone, collaborations alone. I mean, business opportunities, saying yes to the right ones can take you all the places that you need to go and beyond. But when you say yes to all of them, you go nowhere and they slow you down and drag you down in such a tough way. So, what I'll say is protect your energy. Know that when you say yes to everything, it's just going to drain you even more. And what's the big vision? Like, what is that bigger vision that you do want to say yes to? So when that opportunity, collaboration, event, does come your way, you're like, that is a hard yes. I'm all in. That, like, that is 100% all go for you, versus yes, yes, yes. And everything's only getting maybe like 20% versus the 100% that it needed to be a success. So for me, like, that has been something really, really important that I've been focusing on, is now saying no to probably more than I say yes to be honest. Saying no to the things that don't align with the big picture, the goals, the values, and the vision. That is really, really important. So I would challenge you to take a look at this and look at the opportunities, the events, the collaborations, like these opportunities that are being presented to you, and say, does this align with my goals? Does this align with my vision? Does this align with my values? And allow that to be the guide versus an automatic yes. And I know for me now, that has been so much more in alignment, because now I'm like, okay, I know that's a no. I know that's a hard no, because it doesn't align with boom, 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 my goals, my vision, and my values. But now, when something is a really hard yes, and I know that it gets to be exciting because it checks all those boxes, it's like, yes, I'm all in. And it ends up being so much easier than all these other things that I said yes to that were just like 20% effort along the way. So, all of that to be said, these 5 productive habits that were secretly sabotaging my success really did help me take a look at where I was showing up, how I was showing up, what I was saying yes and no to, and ultimately allowed me to like reel back in what and where and how I was showing up. So I want to ask you, which one of these 5 productivity or productive habits have you struggled with? Have you struggled with the most? Maybe for you, it's saying yes. Maybe for you, it's putting your phone down and being present. Or maybe for you, it's obsessively tracking things that you don't need to track. Whatever it is for you, I want to know. Comment below and let me know. And as always, ladies, make sure you go out and slay your day, but do it in a way that fills up your cup and aligns with your goals, your vision, and your values. I can't wait to see you on the next episode.